Hello everybody, this is John Doe, and today I decided to do the newly added to the Dueling Numbers Society, Burning Knucklers. So 3 things you should probably know about the deck before you actually get into it. The first thing is that they're all warrior-based typed. So that's pretty important to know about because you can work with the XYZ monsters, and certain XYZ monsters require only warrior-type monsters. The deck is also mainly just fire attributed. I believe all the Burning Knuckle monsters, including XYZs, are fire attributed, but I don't feel like you should probably actually focus on that, especially since it's not even like they have like 200 or less defense, so you can work with Rekindling. It's just fire based, so I don't believe you should probably focus on that attribute because it's just gonna slow you down. You should probably focus on just the warrior part of the deck because you can go into some stronger players like Ninja or Champion, so that's why I recommend going for the warrior aspect of the deck first. And the last thing you should probably know about the deck before you start getting into it, it's pretty graveyard based, so you should probably figure out what you can do with that. I've seen certain decks play like cards like Dark World Dealings, Card Destruction, Morphine Jar. I've seen all these plays, but I don't really like playing those cards for the most part because I don't really like getting rid of my cards, because the only cards that really should be in the graveyard would be Glassjaw, and that's only if you have another like a switch hitter in your graveyard. Other than that, you probably shouldn't do that anyway. And you can work with Counter Blow in your hand instead of the graveyard. So you can work with either way in the graveyard or in the hand, but it's better in the hand because your opponent doesn't know what you have. If you have like the Counter Blow. So that's why I feel like you don't really need to play any of those cards like Dark World Dealings or Card Destruction in order for this deck to function. Okay, so first off we have 18 monsters, 12 spells, and 10 traps. We have 1 Thrasher, 3 Glassjaws. If this card sent to the graveyard by the effect of, just any effect sent to the graveyard in any effect, you can, if you have another Burning Knuckler monster in your graveyard, you can put that target to your hand, and that's really about it. Also, if your opponent attacks this monster, it's automatically destroyed. So it works the same way as Utopia. If it doesn't have any materials, it's automatically destroyed if it's targeted for attack, and then you can attack again. Unfortunately, that sucks, but you can at least get this effect because it was destroyed by its own effect. So then we have 3 switch hitter. Why can I say 3? So when this card's number summon, you can just target 1 Burning Knuckles monster in your graveyard, and then you can only special summon Burning Knuckles monsters after that. That kind of sucks. So basically, the only thing you can do after you use switch hitter is to make a lead blow. So that's really the only thing you can do after that. There's 2 Goblin Bergs. This card, you normal summon this card and put a defense, special summon the warrior type monster. Well, it doesn't really matter as long as it's level 4 or lower, and then you can go and exceed together. Really good play to go would be normal summon the Goblin Bird, go to defense with this effect, and special summon the extra sword, exceed the 2 together to make like a ninja, and you can do a bunch of damage because the extra sword makes your monster gain 1,000 attack. So then we have only 1 spar. This card is just used for some certain situations which I really need another special summon. Like if I want to go into like a Shockmaster play, or if I first turn I can just go and use Spar's effect. So I only have 1 headgear, mostly because I can just normal summon this card and I can send like a Glassjaw in the graveyard, or I can play like Counterblow in the graveyard. But after that, it really doesn't have any other functions, and I need to have another like an optimal play would be like let's say a Foolish Burial in your hand and a headgear in your hand. You activate the Foolish Burial, you send the switch hitter to the graveyard, and then you normal summon the headgear. You send the Glassjaw to the graveyard, and then you can use Glassjaw's effect to put the switch hitter to your hand. That's an optimal hand for the most part, but I don't believe past that point headgear is not that useful, especially in those certain situations in which you really need something right that turn, like switch hitter, for instance. I play 3 switch extra swords, mainly because of the Infernal Reckless, that it works really well with this deck. So then we only have 2 Counter Blows because it's level 3, so it kind of actually hurts the deck a little bit because it's not the right level as the other Burning Knuckles monsters, but it's not a big deal because it gains, it makes your monsters gain 1,000, so it's like playing 2 Kalutes. And then we have 2 Maxi for that drop power. So then we have for the spells 1 Dark Hole, Foolish Burial, Forbidden Lance. I feel like this card would be useful because I want to protect my monsters, and unfortunately, if I have like a Glassjaw and Forbidden Lance, it's probably not going to help out the Glassjaw, because if your opponent attacks the monster, Glassjaw is still sent to the graveyard no matter what, so that kind of sucks. So then we have Heavy Storm, Infernal Reckless, Monster Reborn, 2 Mistless Space Typhoons, Rank Up Magic Variance Force, which is basically used for just this card. The biggest play I like, the play that I really like to do, and I've done this like 3 times, I believe. For instance, I normally summon the Goblinberg. I use this effect to special summon the Heroic Challenger Extra Sword, and then you can, since it was special summon, you can special summon all 3 of the Extra Swords by using Infernal Reckless Summon. Unfortunately, your opponent does have to have a face-up monster on the field, so try to keep that in mind. And they also get special summon all their copies of their monsters as well. But past that, it's not a big deal, since you have 3 extra swords. You can exceed the 3 to make this monster, Cetus the Meteor, and then you go and use the rank up, and then you exceed for this card. So you can do quite a bit of damage just because of this card's effect. You can, unfortunately, I don't believe you get the effect. Do you get the effect? Yeah. When you use the rank up, the monster that was used to use the rank up does not gain the extra swords effect, unfortunately. So that's why I also have the Shark Drake for the Shark Drake OTK in case I ever happen to do that, but I haven't actually done that yet. And then we have 1 Reinforcement Army and 2 the Warrior Returning Alive. So now for trap cards, and I try to do a trap-based kind of a deck because I need some protection, and I feel it's pretty necessary to have some protection. So then we have 2 Compulsories, 2 Prisons, 2 Chains, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Judgment, 1 Warning, and 1 Torrential Tribute. And now for the extra deck, we have it's hard to see that, let's just say number C105, 1 number 32, 1 Utopia, 1 Utopia Ray, 1 number 105 Burning Knuckler Cestus this Meteor, I don't know. Shockmaster 3 Lead Blow, which is basically the only reason why this deck is really overpowered. We have 1 Ninja, 1 Photon, 1 Corn, Heroic Challenger, Excalibur, Djinn, and 1 Cowboy. So really, the deck is pretty self-explanatory. There's really not a lot that's complicated. I've already said a few things that you would probably mess up with, like don't forget your opponent has to have a face-up monster in order for this to use. I learned that the hard way. When this card, if you use this card's effect, you can only special summon Burning Knuckler monsters after you use this card's effect. And unfortunately, I have technically cheated. Unfortunately, I did not mean to. At one point I went for a switch hitter. I special summoned the Glassjaw Exceed together to make Excalibur. So technically, I did cheat. I did not mean to. That's why I'm telling you guys this now. Try to remember, you can only special summon Burning Knuckles monsters after you use this card's effect. So other than that, there's really not a lot to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any other suggestions, comments, or complaints, please comment below, and I'll see you guys next time. Merp.